Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video on the markets. And also welcome if you're new to the channel. I mean, basically what I do in these videos is I try to kind of keep you updated on the markets, what's going on, what altcoins are rallying, what is Bitcoin doing, what are the fundamentals, etc. So you actually have a pretty decent understanding of what's going on today. So let's get right into it. Now, what I wanted to talk about first is the fundamentals. Then we'll talk a bit about Bitcoin. We'll talk a bit about XRP. We'll talk about altcoins in general. So kind of the altcoin market, how that's doing, and can we actually expect some more bullish momentum from that? And then I just wanted to zoom in on some specific altcoins that I think are interesting or worth the watch. Now we got some economic data. Today, as you can see, the balance of trade for the US has actually become more negative. So this is one of the main things that Trump is battling against with these tariffs. But that's mainly because they just imported much more. And exports actually grew as well. It's just that imports compared to the increase in exports has increased much more. But what matters more is the ADP employment change. More employment, which is usually seen as bearish for crypto because it's bullish for the dollar strength index. But just to add a bit of context, I mean, yes, maybe this is a bit bearish. But yesterday we had JOLTS job openings, and that was about $400 million lower than expected. So I don't think it matters that much. And if we take a look at the fundamentals in general right now, the dollar strength index has actually over the last 2 days has actually been relatively bearish, which is a good thing. I mean, it was already relatively bearish last week, but obviously with all of the developments over the course of the weekend and the beginning of this week, it became a little bit less certain if the dollar strength index turned bearish here. So I will definitely keep you updated on that. That's massive, all right? So that would be extremely bullish for crypto and stocks, for those of you who are interested in that. So that's going to be an interesting thing to monitor. For now, I would actually say that it is most likely that this is dropping down lower. So that would be bullish. Now, short term though, to finish the fundamentals, and then we'll take a look at some more crypto specific things. Short term, there's just a lot of uncertainty, right? And you can see the futures are actually trading relatively neutral right now. I'm not sure if there still is a Coinbase Bitcoin a premium. Yes, there is one, but it's lower than what it was on Monday and Tuesday. So in short, the market is just a bit uncertain, and we need some more certainty around this whole tariff situation, and also maybe a little bit more about the Middle East before we can actually see the results of that bearish dollar strength index and of the markets. And as long as we do not have that uncertainty gone, I would say it's possible for Bitcoin specifically to actually move up, but the main resistance is much closer than the main support. All right, so I would be careful with Bitcoin and the market in general, because I don't see any reason. Like I do see a reason why Bitcoin could get up into 101,000 again, but I don't see a reason why we would break above that. So getting there would only mean that we'll find resistance, and ultimately that will drop down lower into 95, 94, 93,000. And most likely altcoins are going to be dragged down together with that, because if we take a look at the dollar at the Bitcoin dominance here, it is slightly dropping down, but in general it's still trading very high, right? And I would argue that as long as the risk appetite is not that high, right? So as long as there still is uncertainty in the general markets, in the general capital markets, money will mostly flow towards Bitcoin, all right? And as long as money mostly flows towards Bitcoin dominance will go up, and altcoins will not really have a chance. And I think in general altcoins, like there will be some altcoins, and we'll talk about that a bit later, that are interesting, and that you have some liquidity and some volume pockets where there actually is quite a lot of money to be made. But in general, I don't think altcoins will do well unless we actually see the Bitcoin dominance fall down, or unless we see Bitcoin break out. And you can also see that in the total 3, right? So this is the altcoin market cap. It just needs to reclaim above $925 billion. If we can do that, which I'll keep you updated on, then that's great. Then we can long some altcoins. If we don't, it's just risky business. So yeah, talking about XRP for a moment here. Main level is just this level around 2.5. So far we've been able to hold it, but honestly it seems like if we don't get any more kind of fundamental clarity around the whole macroeconomic and financial markets. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that I still think it's most likely that we'll drop down back into 2.3, 2.25, and potentially even 2.1 and $2, depending on how the situation develops. But short-term direction, short-term bias for XRP for me is bearish. Now, talking about some interesting altcoins. First interesting altcoin I actually think is Trump, the meme coin. As you can see right here, it's still very low, but I do think that this is starting to look a bit better. And I posted about this on X earlier this morning. And basically what I think is that, first of all, I mean, Trump is now dropping down. We will not have unlocks of tokens in quite a long period of time. So no token inflation yet. And I would just be very surprised if the president's token will continue to look like this and will not have some sort of a second rally. All right, so that would be a massive hit on his image and his brand. So that combination, I think, will in at least the next 2 months, I still think we will see a rally. It's starting off relatively nicely right now, but I would say we need a bit more confirmation technically, some sort of a breakout above 19.5, breakout above $20, before it's really worth entering it. And then outside of that, I mean, you can see some coins right here. I mean, the coins I named yesterday, so something like Litecoin, something like Hyperliquid, something like Ondo, I still think those are amazing projects, and I still do think they can perform well in the next couple of months. But I don't really see interesting entries on those, so that's a bit of a problem. And there's two kind of scam coins that are, well, not scam coins, but they're kind of controversial coins that are doing quite well. That if you really want to trade something, like trade Vine, all right? Vine is doing quite well today. A lot of volume, a lot of volatility. So if you really want to trade that or Venice. Same thing, relatively low market cap, high volume, high volatility. But those are my thoughts on the market. All right, I think I went over everything. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully it's valuable. But for now, I think that's what you need to know. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.